Hi, this is Paul Smith, and in this video I've compiled some of my personal best sprite captures from the 2010s. The last few years chasing sprites has just been so awe-inspiring. I really do consider myself fortunate to have the time, the family support, and these huge weather systems close to home, all of which have enabled me to go out and capture thousands of sprites. Every one I capture is really amazing to me. These are a few that stand out as being extra special. Sprite number 10 on the list is the first sprite I ever captured back in 2017 in the Mojave Desert, looking over Arizona. This sprite had to be in my top 10, being the first sprite I ever captured, and every time I watch the video, I'm reminded of that feeling of actually capturing something so rarely captured. It was about 370 miles away, I would guess somewhere over Tucson, Arizona. There were monsoon storms going on there. Number 9 on the list is a sprite I captured by Wayne, Oklahoma, looking back towards northern Oklahoma. I actually forecasted the potential for sprites and left a really photogenic storm right by my house to try and see over it as night fell.
Yes! Beautiful! Oh my god.
It was a full moon night, typically not the best conditions to capture sprites, and I was questioning my decision the whole drive down south. The gamble paid off big time. Sprite number 8 is this beautiful carrot sprite I captured from down by Duncan, Oklahoma, looking back towards Tulsa, Muskogee area. That night there was a big fall storm system all the way from Dallas to Tulsa. What I really love about this capture is the textbook carrot shape, with the tufts all the way up in the upper atmosphere and the intricate body filled with positive and negative streamers, and the detail in the tendrils below, which are usually hard to capture. Sprite number 7 comes from just 15 minutes from my front door in Edmond, Oklahoma. Just another one of those amazing nights watching all the storms over southern Kansas. Although even with all the lightning activity, I wasn't getting too many really photogenic sprites. And then this flashed and I didn't know quite what I'd seen. And upon review, I was just blown away by this really interesting alien looking jellyfish sprite with the intricate heads. Sprite number 6 comes from one of my favorite nights down at Lake Thunderbird, Oklahoma with my boys. As the night went on, we started seeing the sprites with our eyes, and this is one we saw just above the cloud bank.
Whoa! I saw that one too.
I saw that one.
You saw that red one?
Yes.
I just love to hear the raw reactions of all three of us seeing the sprite at the same time. It's amazing. Sprite number 5 was my first capture of the 2019 season, looking north from Anadarko, Oklahoma. I forecasted that spot to shoot from and it was really threading the needle. There were storms to my east, storms to my west, and this big storm swirling away to my north. And then deep into the big system to the north, this sprite fired and it looked like it was sitting on top of the clouds in the foreground. And in the video, if you look really close, you can see all the different kind of lightning involved with that sprite. Sprite number 4 comes from Wellston, Oklahoma, looking north in the storms over southern Kansas. I caught a number of massive sprites this night. And it was a really dark area with a moonless sky, so the sprites were this deep blood red color. It was right center frame, the focal length was right, the focus was bang on, and it's super detailed. Sprite number 3 is a huge tree sprite I captured right at the end of a night in northern Oklahoma, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to leave. Many different red colors, and it's really interesting to note the magenta color, which you usually see in sprites when the moon's in the sky, which it was behind me. It was almost a full moon. Sprite number 2 comes from the same area of Oklahoma, just a little up the road, and from earlier in the spring. And it's from this little cow pen that I've always had in mind for a composition. And then I get this huge bright jellyfish sprite with the long tendrils. And there's an airplane flying in front of it, and I love how the contrail of the airplane is backlit by this really bright sprite. Sprite number 1 was captured from Lake Carl Blackwell in Oklahoma, and I call it the rainbow sprite because it has all the colors available to be seen in sprites.
Wow! Wow!
Ranging from these beautiful pinks and purples in the lower upper atmosphere, just above the cloud tops, to the crimson red at regular sprite height, with the very rarely captured green upper atmosphere afterglow. which Hank Scheimer had first originally pointed out in one of his captures earlier in the year, which we are in the middle of collaborating on right now and decided to call them ghosts for the sake of discussion. And I actually caught this one in high definition on another camera, where you can really zoom in and see all the intricate details and the colors. Just an amazing phenomena of nature. So if you like the video on sprite captures in general, please hit subscribe. I have way more captures to put out, and I'd love for you to check them out when I do.